Hello, welcome back. My name is Paul Fritz, and in this episode I'm going to start a new series on creating some game scenes in Unreal Engine. What that's going to be is we're going to start off with some simple scenes. We're going to use some basic assets and create some real simple scenes, and then we're going to start making some terrain. I'll show you different blueprinting methods to be able to control certain things in your scenes, as well as some new blueprints on being able to create some more complex textures. So we're going to start off simple. Every week I'll come up with one or two of these videos and try to keep them about 15 minutes long so that they don't get too long, and that'll give you a chance to follow them and kind of play along and do similar to what I am doing, although you can certainly create some different things. This right here, let me go ahead and get my face out of the way, is what I'm going to start off with. We're going to basically I'm going to show you how to get all these assets out of the marketplace, how to use some simple blueprinting to create the torches, and a little bit about lighting, as you can see here, and how to kind of compile it together to make a nice, simple little scene that we can use to kind of learn how to make our first playable little scene. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and open up and create our first project inside of Unreal Engine. So I'm going to close this out. You can kind of see here, this is what the scene looks like at this point in time. My assumption is that if you're watching these videos, you have never used Unreal Engine before, or maybe you've used it a little bit and you just want to learn some new things, or maybe it's been a while and you're just refreshing your memory. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and close this out. And on your desktop, you should have this. Go ahead and close it out of the way. You should have this launcher right here. So the Epix Game Launcher little icon here. And if you don't, you can, down here in Windows at least, you can type in Epic, and it should come up with your Epix Game Launcher, and you can bring that up from there as well. And that's what this is. Whenever you close out Unreal Engine, it has a tendency to go back to this, and it popped up in the middle of the screen. But this is where we're going to start. This is Unreal Engine. If you don't see this when you first open up your Epic Games, look for Unreal Engine over here, click on that, and that should give you this window right here. The marketplace is where we're going to end up going after I kind of show you how to get your project started. And inside the marketplace, we'll talk a little bit about that too. So first things first, let's go to our library. Right here on the top, we should have some little blue tiles. If you don't have any blue tiles, go here to Engine Versions, and you're going to have to install a version of Unreal Engine. I'd recommend using 4.2.3 or 4.2.4. Those are ones that are friendly with all of the current assets that are inside of the marketplace. If you get some of the older versions, not all new assets are backwards compatible with some of the older versions. So when you click on this, you'll get this little gray tile. Hit the little down arrow right there, and you can pick whatever version you want to be able to install. If you don't want this extra gray tile, you can click it here and get rid of it. I'm going to start with 4.2.4 here, so I'm going to launch it by clicking Launch. And it takes a few seconds. Could take a couple of minutes depending on the processor speed and what version you're working with. This will pop up. We're going to start with a game. You can also see here that some of my recent projects are up here as well. So when you have recent projects, you can also come in here to get to them as well, and also through your library. So click on Games. I'm going to click Next. Now you can pick either a blank presentation, which basically starts with nothing. You have a first person, kind of gives you this little scene here with a guy with a little gun. There's some other things that you can pick if you want to do a flying game. There's a vehicle. I'm going to pick third person. If you want to follow along with me, pick third person. I would recommend either first person or third person for what we're going to do for this. Okay, and you're going to have this little mannequin guy. So click Next. Here under Project Settings, make sure you have with starter content down here. If it's not there, hit the down arrow and pick with starter content. There's some things in there that we might want to use. Down at the bottom, Unreal Projects. Make sure you put it into a folder somewhere that you want to save it, so someplace that you can find it. So if you hit on this little button right here, You can browse to the folder you want to save it in. I created one called Unreal Projects. That's where I keep all of my current projects I'm working on in Unreal Engine. And then I'm going to name this one Video Demo, but you can call yours whatever you want to call it. And I actually called it this before, so I'm going to hit 1 after that. I'm not actually going to use this one. I'm showing you this process, and then I'm going to open up a previous project that has a lot of stuff in it that I want to use to help teach you. All right, so I'm going to hit Create Project from here. It's going to close out. And depending on things that you may have added to it, again, how fast your computer is, this may take anywhere from a few seconds to a couple of minutes. So don't worry if it doesn't pop right in. Just wait for it. And it should come into this scene right here if you pick the third-person player. We can hit play right now, and if I click in the screen there, I can move around, and you can see that my little guy can run and jump. WASD to move around. In this case, I can use my mouse to move around like that. Hit escape to get out of that. To be able to move around inside of the scene here, okay? And this is one of the things that kind of gets me. Right now I'm pushing down on my middle mouse button, and when I go left, it goes left. I go right, up and down. You can get used to that. If that's something that bugs you, say you've been 3D modeling for a while, like I do, and it does kind of bug me, you can go up here to Edit, and then Editor Preferences, and this will adjust your entire editor, but it's only for this project. It won't affect any of your other projects. So every time you open a new project, you got to come in here and change this. And I'm going to type in mouse, and then right here, I am going to invert my mouse look Y-axis, or actually invert my middle mouse pan button. So I'm going to click on that, my middle mouse pan button, and then just close it out. And now it's going to work just like it does in my Maya. Okay, now with that, that's pretty much everything from there at this point. What I'm going to do now is we've got this opened up. We've created a project. So what we need to do now is we need to start finding some of our assets. And then I'm going to finish up this video after we get done with that. So I'm going to minimize that out. When you open up Unreal Engine, your Epic Games Launcher always closes. So I'm going to double click on it again, open it up, and go to the Marketplace. Here in the Marketplace is where we can find a bunch of free assets. And if you click on or hover over the little word free here on the Marketplace, you can find Epic Games content. There's the Mega Scans, which is one of the reasons, one of the things I wanted to show you throughout this series is some of the Mega Scans capabilities that we can use from Quixel. Also, there's a free for the month category. I check that out quite a bit to see what's out there because you can pick up some really cool stuff for free. And then there's a permanently free collection. So if you click on the permanently free collection, you can kind of come in here. You'll see that there are a lot of different things in here. You can see I've come and kind of picked out a lot of stuff that I like, and I use it quite a bit. But what we're looking for is, so we're going to go ahead and in here, we're looking for some of the infinity blades. So type in infinity. Spell that right? Nope, too many T's. Not enough F's. F-I-N-I-T-Y. There we go. Infinity. All right, and you can see that a lot of this infinity blade stuff pops up. So the one I used for the demo was Infinity Blade Grasslands. You can click on that. This is a free one. And you can go ahead and add this right to your project. I already have it downloaded, but right here you probably have a button that says download. So click on that for download or buy, and it'll go up here into your cart. It's free, so it's not going to actually charge you anything. I am going to go back to the Marketplace, so I'm going to hit back right up here. So right here it says content detail. You can come in here, you can take a look at all of the different stuff that's in here. It talks a little bit about it. You can look and see what people are saying about it. This one's got pretty high, 4.79 stars out of 474 ratings. So pretty good stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and hit back. I'm going to find something that I don't already have so I can kind of demonstrate to you the process. Okay, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to go ahead and see right here. If I click on this, you can add it right to your cart from here as well. But I'm going to click on it. And right in here it says free or add to cart. I'm going to add it to my cart. Okay, so the other thing I want you to look for is infinity again. Let me spell this right. Infinity. Okay, and the other one I used was Infinity, and I'm not seeing it on here. So Infinity Blade Firelands. So Infinity Blade. All right, come on, stop. There we go. Get to show you how poor of a typist I am. There it is, Infinity Blade Firelands right there. So go ahead and do the same thing. Click on it, add to your cart. And we may not use a lot of stuff out of there, but there's some neat stuff. The other thing we can do is we can go back to our home here. And if we take a look for Infinity Blade, you can type in Infinity Blade from here. And you can see that there are a lot of versions of Infinity Blade. There's some castle ones. There are some towers, all kinds of great stuff from Infinity Blade. They're all free. You can go ahead and look through them. You can download them all if you wanted to. And once you put them in your cart, you go to your cart and then do checkout. Okay. And boom, it goes to 0. So if I go to my library, you'll start to see down here, here's your projects, and then down here it says Vault. Under your Vault is where you'll have all of the different things that you downloaded and added to your cart. You haven't actually added it to your project yet. Okay, so taking a look at this, you can see that we have all kinds of Infinity Blade things that you can download. Here's my Grasslands. Here's the hideout. So what I want to do is I want to add this Infinity Blade Grasslands to my project. So I'm going to click on Add to Project. I'm going to find my project that I just created. And this is my video demo one right here. See, there's nothing in it yet. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to add to my project. So once I click on it, and it'll tell you what it's compatible with. It says this one is compatible with 4.24. And I'm going to go ahead and say Add to my project. Now, all of these up here, you'll see that they have this little eye underneath it. If you hover over the eye, it'll tell you the different versions of Unreal Engine that these are compatible with. So the Firelands and the Grasslands are compatible all the way back to 4.9. But if we take a look at this one right here, Infinity Village, it's really only compatible with 4.23 and 2.4. I would recommend looking through the marketplace, finding some things that you like. Another one that is currently for free, that is for the month free, so is this Scanned Poplar and Aspen Forest. And the way you can find these is, again, in your marketplace. I'm going to go ahead and go to free for the month. And you can see right in here, if you're watching this sometime in April 2020, that this Scanned Poplar and Aspen Forest is free right now. It's usually they charge $60 for it. So come in here often and see what there is. There's also this nature package. In the scene, I used some of these popular trees. I haven't used this one before, so I'm going to go ahead and add that to my cart just to kind of show you. And again, it's the same process. Click on it, click on checkout, and it's going to go ahead and this time, because these were usually ones that you pay for, instead of it being free, going straight into your library, it brings you to this checkout. Since it's free, there's no charge, so you just click on Place Order. Confirms your order, and it'll pop into your library, and then you can add it to your project. So once you've got your project set up like we have, you've got a few things downloaded here in your library, go ahead and add them to your project. That's it for this particular episode right now. What's going to happen is over time, as you come back into your third person here, you'll see the content. Click on content, and down in here, you'll start to see things like Infinity Blade, Grasslands. Here's the starter content. We'll talk more about all this again, but if you wanted to make sure that you've actually added it to your project, you can come in here, make sure you're on the very top folder called content, and just see if they're popping in down here. That's it. I hope to see you again in the next episode where we'll pick up from this and continue on making our first scene. Thank you again, and if you like this, please down at the bottom click like if you liked my video. Also, please subscribe to my channel. Talk to you soon and take care.